aware that I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I am so effing tired of the amount of emotional labor that comes with dating black men. I am so tired of the lack of commitment, the lack of support, the lack of encouragement, the lack of money. Like, I don't know what to do from this point on, but I can tell you one thing. My interest in dating another black man is like 1% at this point. They want us to be ride or dies until they get their shit together. And then they don't want to support us in return. They don't want to commit to us. They don't want to marry us. But then they want all the benefits of being a husband without actually proposing to us. I need someone who's intentional.
Listen, I've learned over time to not invalidate anybody's feelings when they're going through something. And let me preface this by saying this is that when people are going through something, sometimes they lash out, right? And that's where the women get who hurt you from because it really comes from other women. And, I'm not speaking as it relates to her when it comes to the whole who hurt you thing because I don't use ad hominem attacks in order to validate my argument, but I want to preface this by saying that clearly she going through something, and maybe it was a breakup, maybe it was a reality check that she got, maybe it was some guy that wind up saying, you know what, I don't think that this is best for us, and all of this other stuff. And so as a result, she don't feel compelled to be able to continue to be in a relationship or date black men, and I think that that's cool. I'm not trying to invalidate her experiences because she didn't lead with it, meaning that she haven't given us any context as to why she's saying what she's saying, but she said what she said. And so we have to go off of that in order to be able to justify our argument or substantiate what it is that we're saying to you right now. And what I'm saying to you right now is that I know of so many good black dudes. Some of them are married, some of them are chilling. And ultimately, they've decided to live their life based off of whatever it is that they think that their purpose is. Now, let me also say this that I think that it's unfortunate that y'all feel, and this goes for men and women, but I'm gonna speak to the women's perspective in a second, but in a general sense, I don't know why people feel some sort of loyalty to a race, to a demo. Listen, just tell me you were attracted to a certain type of guy and he just so happened to be black. But I don't understand this whole race loyal thing when you are to go where you celebrated and not where you tolerated. And so if you don't feel like you're getting the results, which I don't believe that most of these women are going to get the results that they think that they want when it comes to other races. But listen, if you think that you can get it, then go for it. But I think that y'all preferences is what it is. I don't even think that it's race loyal. I think that you attracted to, you love it, you actually want it, you like what happens to you and how it makes you feel. And so then when they get hurt as a result of picking a certain type of guy, a lot of times they lash out and they try to make it seem like it's black men in general, like they broke. Like, what are you doing with a broke guy in the first place? And if you are with a broke guy, does that also mean that you a broke chick because you are what you attract? Or the type of energy that you put out, that's what you attract. Y'all go a lot of these places and y'all meet these people on these apps and y'all wind up kicking it with them from the DMs and all of this stuff. But in reality, a lot of times y'all are what y'all attract. And so if you around a bum dude, or it's a certain, it's a small minority of men that's literally having the babies with the majority of the black women and stuff, and y'all go into these same cities. You go to Atlanta, you go to fucking Houston. We already know exactly where y'all gonna be at and all of that. And so y'all surround yourself with a certain demographic of people, and you gonna get what it is that you deserve. And it's almost like it's like going to certain spots here in Detroit in particular. There are certain spots that I know that it's going to be certain people there, and in a lot of instances, on a regular basis, some of the same people circulate around the same spots on a regular basis. I'm not gonna name them because I ain't trying to put none of these spots on blast. But my point is that you are what you attract, and when you go out for a certain type of energy, you can't expect anything different than the environment that you surround yourself by. Now, back to the whole, I know a whole lot of guys that move in a certain area and move in a certain demographic. It's plenty of dudes that get a lot of money. You know what it is? It's just that in a lot of instances, those are not the guys that y'all initially pick. Y'all are not going with the nerd. You're not going with the dude that's not, you know what I'm saying, that's chilling, that don't spend the majority of his time in the streets outside, getting active and all of that stuff. Y'all spend it, and most of the time, a lot of those type of guys, you know them, but you friend zone them, and it don't necessarily translate into y'all actually having a relationship with them until you feel like, or you tired of, or you decide that you want to settle down. That guy wind up being with a girl that choose him, and it's not necessarily based off of the woman or identity politics. Is more based off of the fact that that's the woman that wanted him. And then y'all say, well, where all of the good guys at? Usually you already rejected him, or you knew that you were supposed to be with him, but you rejected him in order to be with a certain type of guy, and then you thought that he was supposed to be waiting for you at the end of the finish line. And that's not reality. It's not reality. You supposed to choose who choose you, and you decide not to do that, and then so you get your feelings hurt, and you say, "Well, in a sense, guys are broke, or they unavailable emotionally, or you didn't know that you was in a situationship." You know what I'm starting to find, and I'm gonna hit this point home for the rest of the year, and probably all next year too. Situationships for women is just a friend. It's the equivalent of a friend zone for men. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Situationships for women is the equivalent of a friend zone for men. So when women put men in the friend zone, it's the same thing as men having women in a situationship, and they don't want to marry them. They never promised you that they was, but you have these expectations because somehow, some way, somebody told you that that's what you were supposed to be requiring from the men that you're dealing with, and they never led you on. They never lied to you. They never told you anything different. They never changed their bank account. They never finessed you. In reality, you know, and you are smart enough to be able to identify the type of men that you deal with. Those are the men that you chose to be with. You spent the majority of your time with them, and then they broke your heart because they wasn't doing anything different than what they already showed you that they was. And so now you're making these posts on Instagram and TikTok, and I always like to give credit to the content creator. So I'm always going to link back to their profile inside of the description of the video. So, you know, I love the content creators, whether I agree with them or not. And I'm not going in on her at all. Actually, to the contrary, I'm just adding context to give y'all more insight to help y'all to understand that there's plenty of guys out here, specifically black guys, that's real good guys, don't have a lot of kids, don't have no kids at all, very smart, very educated, decided that they wanted to level up, but then they not trying to get finessed at the end of the finish line from a woman that think that they supposed to come up as a result of being with them, and they wasn't shooting in the gym with them. And so now we're very, not me in particular, because I've been successfully married for a while, but we are very particular about the people that we keep energy around and who we decide to surround ourselves with. And we're no longer giving ourselves over to people that don't necessarily have our best interests at heart. And so we move in a different type of way. And so you can't expect anything except for the thing that you attract. And I feel sorry for the fact that it's a possibility that you skipped over the man that you were supposed to be with. But in reality, you don't get to choose when somebody else got an option to choose also. They got to agree to the terms. And just because these guys ain't agreeing to the terms, that just means that you're not meeting the expectations of what they want. I'm curious as to what y'all think. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon at the beginning of the month. Link is in the description. I'm curious as to what y'all think. Make sure y'all leave y'all comments in the description and let me know what y'all think about this video, about what her thoughts are. Do you think that there's a large demographic of men that is available and that are dating, that are out here not being suitable for marriage or not meeting the expectations of black women? Are black men largely not meeting the expectations of black women, or are black women's expectations outsized and they not what they looking to attract? I'm curious as to what y'all think. Make sure y'all leave y'all comments and tap in over at After Hours, and we're gonna be kicking it over there. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm gonna holler at you later. Peace.